my man. We are live here again. Glad to have you back, Sean, here for our Wednesday show. All right, guys, if you don't see it live, you'll see it later. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Also, guys, we need a name for the show. When we get some people in here viewing, Sean, maybe we'll get a poll going and see what people kind of say. A little name for our show here. So we'll see here. Hold on. Let me bring up the chat. Let me get everything situated. How's life going your way, Sean?
Doing good, bro. Everything's coming together. Trying to get that microphone and everything set up so I can have a lot better sound quality. But
That's
kind of
it.
hitting a few bumps in the road.
That's it, man. Technology sucks. That's the thing, man. No doubt about it. It blows. Oh,
Yeah.
again, we'll wait for some people to jump on. I'm getting a couple coming through. But if you are on, put everything in the comments, what you want to say, what you want to talk about. We'll kick things off here. Like I said, if you don't see it live, you'll see it later. So we'll start off talking about a few things. Let's talk about one thing. Joey Porter Jr. today, he won an award that his dad never won. It was an award. I'm not sure what the name of it was, but it was an award for and like an outstanding player. One of those types of things. And as a rookie, that's pretty cool. What do you think about that, Sean? Joey Porter Jr. already collecting some awards.
I think that's really cool, man, because he's done such a good job for being a rookie. For him to come into the league like that and win an award right off the bat, that says a lot, man. I think that's pretty cool.
No doubt about it, man. I agree. No doubt. I agree. It's pretty cool to be able to win an award, have some shit going your way as a rookie, being able to get shit going. That's pretty cool, man, to be able to do that. Also, Patrick Peterson won the Chiefs Award today. That goes to the guy that's the outstanding player for media relations. So, what do you think about Pat P winning that award? I don't really care about it. I think it's kind of a stupid award. It's called the Chiefs Award. But what do you think about that, dude?
Again, I think it's cool that they're getting awarded with something. At least they're not in the media for all the wrong things. It's something positive, so maybe that can move forward into the season and just keep the positivity coming.
That's it, man. No doubt about it. Again, we'll get some live viewers here. Hopefully, we're running a little slower tonight. Nobody's really jumping on tonight, but we'll see. It'll pick up as it always does. But hey, the Steelers rolling into Baltimore. I'm not sure if how I like this matchup, but we got some news today that you won't see Lamar Jackson, according to the Baltimore Ravens and the Harbaugh and all them guys. What do you think that kind of impact that's going to have when Tyler Huntley, Snoop Huntley, whatever, he made the Pro Bowl last year? Do you think the Steelers are still going to have a tough time with these Baltimore Ravens, even though Lamar Jackson isn't playing?
Yeah, I think that Huntley's going to go out there and he's going to have a good game. He's played good against us in the past. Even I think he even got a win against us, didn't he? And
I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know. Last one I remember was Kenny Pickett last year beating him in Baltimore there on that last second drive. That was the last time I remember him playing. I don't know if he's beaten the Steelers. He may have. I think he has. I think you're right.
yeah, they played all backups a few years ago, and they still got the W, and I think he was a
Mhm.
part of that. But to answer your question, yeah, he's a good quarterback, and he got to the Pro Bowl for a reason. It's still going to be a tough game for the Steelers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you have Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I don't risk him getting hurt if I'm the Ravens. But hey, that's them, man. But I don't risk him getting hurt. But they should probably send a lot of other people too. You got what Queen out there you don't want to see get hurt. You saw what happened to Miami last weekend in garbage time when the Ravens were beating up on them. Chubb got hurt.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't have been out there. What do you think about that? Like, my thoughts are you sit your people, man. You don't risk the shit. But do you think that they are going to get so stale just sitting there for 2 weeks? Or what about this scenario? Do you want them to beat the Steelers now if you're the Ravens, or you have two teams from your own division inside the playoffs? What do you think about that? Would you be worried about that if you were the Ravens?
I wouldn't. They're already, they're going to have home field advantage. They're going to have time to rest all their starters, and that's exactly what I would do. I would rest your starters and play the secondary and save them for the big game. And at that point, everything just falls on the coaches. You got to keep the starting crew ready. So they got to go in through the week and have a good practice. They got to go out there and prepare like they are going to play. So that's on the coaching. But yeah, I would sit them. I wouldn't be going out there and risking injury.
Yeah, I wouldn't care either, man. You're out there and you're just like risking catastrophic failure, man. Lamar Jackson's injured, it seems like every postseason, so he's not normally out there. And then you had the time where he did sit and then they came out flat and they got beat. He has one playoff win. I got told that I was crazy when I said that I don't think he was a franchise quarterback just yet because he hasn't ever won a big game. I want to ask you that. Do you remember any? I've like looked it up. I never remembered Lamar Jackson ever winning a big game. No playoff game in the NFL except for one. I don't remember him winning any big games in college. Do you remember any big games Lamar Jackson's won?
No, that's kind of what I've always said to people is, he's really great through the season, all year long until you get into the playoffs, and then it seems like the pressure gets to him, and he
Yeah,
kind of.
he's either not there or he chokes. One of the two. Yeah, like what the hell? That's crazy. I
But
don't
yeah,
know. I've just never seen it. That's what I was asking you. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever really seen him win a big game. All right, guys, if you're just joining in here, we're just starting to get going. We're slow rolling it up here while we try to get a couple people viewing. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, whatever, throw it in the comments. Let us know what you want to talk about. We're just talking a little Steelers here ahead of week 18, the big matchup where the Pittsburgh Steelers have to win and get a W in Baltimore, and maybe easier said than done. Let's talk about the big issue here, I suppose, that was going on yesterday with Kenny Pickett. What's your thoughts on that whole situation? I don't think it was really much of a situation, but that seems to be the buzz right now. But so, what's your thoughts on that, Sean?
I think Kenny's being a good sport about it. I think it's all media hype, and they're trying to stir the pot, and I wouldn't buy into it much at all. I think Kenny already came out and said something about, "Hey, I'm the number two going into this game." And that's the way it's going to be. And he's going to prepare as if he's going to play anyways. And I think it's all media hype, dude. I really do.
Yeah, and Mark Madden, dude, he's a. I don't know if you've ever seen him, Sean. You're a Hawaii guy. I don't know if you've ever had the. I wouldn't call it a privilege, but I don't know if you've ever been scarred for life by listening to Mark Madden. But I don't get him sometimes. It's a guy that says literally, "Hey, I don't watch the NFL. I only watch the Steelers because I have to. It's hard for me to take anything somebody that says that kind of shit, even serious about anything you're talking about in the NFL. It's kind of hard for me to say, for me to, I don't know, for me to jive with that, man. It's just kind of hard. But I think Kenny Pickett did handle the media bullshit right yesterday. You did have another Steelers guy, an insider, Jerry Dulac, who's pretty connected with the team, I suppose, say that he had heard it also. So I don't know what to take from it. But let's get to some real topics here. Mason Rudolph. What do you think about his chances? I know you like Mason. I like Mason too. I really think he's a good player, man. But I've had some people saying they're trying to anoint him into the Hall of Fame, and the guy's played 2 games well. I mean, it can't go like that. We're on the Mason train. I'm right along with you. I love Mason. I think he's playing well, and I want to see him succeed. But what do you think about maybe it's being a little overhyped, or do you think the hype is warranted?
I think it's probably a little overhyped. I think everyone's really excited to see somebody in there doing their job and staying poised. It's probably a little excitement mixed in with it, and maybe that's getting interpreted the wrong way because anybody who really knows football knows it's only been 2 games, and it's going to take a while to see the true colors come out. Once teams start getting film on you and they start studying you, they're going to expose you. So we'll see. We're going to find out soon. But yeah, like Jason says, I wouldn't jump to hype them up as, hey, we're set for a Super Bowl run. We don't know yet.
Yeah, you just don't know. And Mason could come out and come back down to earth. That's just the reality of it all. I mean, he's played really well, excellent quarterback rating against the Seattle Seahawks, excellent passing yards, lacked a little bit of the touchdowns, but the running game was so dominant. Did well against the Bengals, but these are some lower rated defenses. I get it, but everybody is in the NFL, so everybody's good. I'm just worrying maybe the hype is just a little bit too much, and I don't want the pressure on him so bad that the minute he makes a mistake and then Tomlin pulls him or something, and then the guy don't get a fair shake. We all got to realize that he's going to have moments that he's not going to be good. Everybody does. Even Tom Brady, all the greats, everybody did. But that's what I'm worrying about. Are you worrying about that, Sean, Saturday? That's, I think, my biggest concern. Uh, Getting pulled for Kenny Pickett the minute he makes a mistake. Do you think that could happen, or do you think Tomlin's going to ride with him the whole way?
I think Tomlin's going to ride with him the whole game. The only way I see Mason coming out is if he gets shook up, injured, or something like that. Then Kenny's going to go in there and he'll do a good job managing the game. But yeah, I think he's going to let him ride the whole game, man. I don't see him doing something like that.
Yeah, even if he throws an interception, you don't think Tomlin's going to say, "All right, take a seat, dude. You threw one interception. We're going to put Kenny in to try to salvage this." Do you think that would happen now?
I don't think so, man. You got to let him go out there and prove himself. And once if Tomlin keeps doing his shuffling around, it's going to make it seem like he's confused himself, and he's got to go. Once you make the bed, you got to lay in it and let him play the whole game.
I agree. He's made it evident that he's going with Mason, period. Uh, you know, there's no turning back now. There's no turning back. And Mason Rudolph has proven that he can do the job at least. And two, you watch some of this all 22 tape and watch some of this film, and I've noticed some things about Mason Rudolph when he's standing in the pocket. These guys are actually getting time to run their routes. They're finishing their routes. And when Kenny was in there, Mitch was in there, you notice they would have to break off of their routes so quickly. They never really got to fully explode on their routes. And I think that that's like paying some big dividends in this past game, man. But I was watching some things. Even when, how we were running in the Bengals game, we were running a ton of the speed outs, 8, 10 yards out to the sideline. Mason was hitting them, he was accurate with them. But in this game in Seattle, the last game, the Seahawks were sitting on those routes. They were trying to stop those because they seen a lot of speed outs, a lot of the ways that they were attacking the Bengals, and they were trying to stop that. And Mason was able to identify that happening, and he was able to go to his second, third read at times and hit it, and that's huge. And you didn't see that from Kenny Pickett. What do you think about Mason Rudolph and the way he's going through these progressions now? Do you think that he's leaps and bounds better than what Kenny and Mitch was doing?
I do, man. I was thinking about that earlier, and I'm not really excited to go back to watching a bunch of 3-and-outs with Kenny Pickett through the first half to 3 quarters of the game, and then maybe see a spark in the fourth quarter. I've really been enjoying watching the offense click right off the get, first quarter, putting up points, and just staying consistent through the whole game. Yeah, I like what
Me
I'm
too.
seeing. I hope it continues.
Me too. And you got to have that run game. You got to continue to lean on that run game. What do you think, Sean, as we move into this Baltimore game? This big time matchup, man. This is an AFC North matchup. No matter who's playing, backup starters, whatever. What do you think about the Steelers' chances heading into this game? Do you really like it, or are you kind of nervous?
I like it. This is what the Steelers are built for, to compete in the AFC North. And one thing that they do well is play the Ravens well, and the Ravens do that. It's always the same. They play each other really well. It's going to be a tight game, no matter who's playing quarterback for each team. It can be same said for us. Mason or Kenny. It's going to be a close game. I like our chances more with Mason, the way he's been playing the past few weeks. I'd like to see him roll with that, like Tomlin plans on doing.
Yeah,
But
no
I feel
doubt.
good, bro. And Lamar sitting down. That's gonna help. That's Huntley is
Yeah, for
not
sure.
nearly as mobile, so should be easier to contain.
Yeah, I agree. And with the defense the way it is, but let's talk a little bit about this defense before we move in on any farther. I heard a nice number today that I was when I was listening to different things. The defense still only giving around 19 and a half, 19.3 points per game right now. With all the injuries that have happened, how are they getting this done? That's my question. When they're not really giving up a shit ton of points like we'd all expect. I mean, they're keeping this Steelers team in ball games, even when the offense is putting up points, but this defense hasn't totally fallen apart yet. How do you explain that, Sean? What are you putting the most stock in of why this defense hasn't totally fallen apart with all the injuries that it has?
We got guys that are stepping up. We got Rowe, who came in there and led the defense in tackles. You got Miles Jack came in there wearing the green dot, stayed calm, got all the plays out to the players, and made a lot of tackles. He was all over the place. It's guys are literally stepping up on the defense, and it's been a huge contribution to a lot of our victories.
Yeah, these guys coming off the practice squad, playing big, getting interceptions, coming downhill, making tackles. Patrick Peterson sliding back to the safety spot, actually looking pretty good, when he's playing back there. We don't hear his name, so that's a positive. That's a big thing. But hey, Patrick Peterson not getting smoked back there, first time playing back there, doing a good job, making tackles, doing what he needs to do, guarding people. He did have that little hiccup there with Njigba. I think that's how you say it, Njigba's touchdown, where he was back. He should have probably been playing a little bit farther back on that play. When you watch the tape, I think he was cheated up a little bit too much. And then Jigbu was able to get back behind him. And yeah, we saw the result of that. But that's a learning curve, man. You're going to have that. All right, guys, we're talking Steelers defense right now a little bit as we move into the show here. Start putting your comments in there. It's been a quiet evening so far here in the chat. It's been a quiet evening for the live show here on a Wednesday, but we do this every Wednesday. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. If like, share the videos, spread the word, and put your comments in there. Let us know what you're thinking, what you want to talk about here with the Steelers. And we're going to continue to talk defense a little bit. Um, let's talk a little bit about somebody that we don't really talk about too much. And that was Levi Wallace's performance last week. You didn't hear his name a ton either. And that's what you want for a defensive back 90% of the time, unless they make a splash play or something. But we didn't really hear his name. I don't think he really got dominated in any way. I felt like he played good. What do you think about Levi's performance? Somebody we don't normally talk about.
Man, like you said, it's a good thing when you don't hear their name. They're out there shutting down the receiver. They're not getting toasted, burnt on every play. He did
No
great.
doubt, man.
To go
I
out there
agree.
and that's a hostile environment, and man, he really stepped up. It's just these guys are really stepping up all over the field on defense. And talk about another guy stepping up on defense. Herbig, bro, that play was massive. Play of the
No
game.
doubt. No doubt, man. That's where I go. I've been sitting here thinking about that all day. I talked about it in a video earlier today. Nick Herbig, such limited snaps, man. I don't understand. I think he does need a little bit more. I think he deserves to have a little bit more, and I think it would only benefit guys like Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt. I'd like to see T.J. and Herbig in there together. I feel like it adds a lot of speed to that edge. I feel like they could hit home a little bit faster. And I'm not discounting Alex Highsmith in any way. I love the way he plays football. I love having him here. But one thing I brought up was, hey, what do you do when you're trying to trim fat, in terms of like finances? Is he one to go if you have Herbig or, things of that nature? That's stuff we're going to have to look at in this offseason. But wow, you were right, Herbig, with that strip set. Do you think that he sees a little bit more time here in Baltimore this week? Do you think he's deserved it? Do you think Tomlin's going to let him have it, him and Terrell Austin?
I hope so because I feel like he earned it. Not just on that one play, just throughout the whole season. He's seen very few snaps, but when he's in the game, he seems to have game-changing plays that swings the whole outcome of the game for the team. And I
Yeah,
think he's earned it, man. He should see some more snaps. I think, man, that'd be great to see him out there more.
Yeah, you figure he's contributed on special teams, blocking punts. He's strip sack. He's made some big time sacks, like that one in Cincinnati when they first went out to Cincinnati there, and he hit Jake Browning and sacked the shit out of him after reading the play. Excellent recognition. Like, I mean, he's really taken some steps, and got it's a little tougher to just jump in there and play defense, and that's why I'm starting to really like Joey Porter Jr. I'm starting to like Nick Herbig a lot. Keanu Benton. It's not as easy, I don't feel like, to play NFL defense as opposed to college defense. I feel like it's a big difference. I feel like those guys take a little while sometimes to jump up. So I'm rather impressed with those guys for sure. What do you think, though, as a whole, the Steelers rookie class on defense? What do you think about them as a whole? Do you think this has been a pretty solid draft class or what?
I do, man. Because of those guys is the reason why we're able to stay in these games. Because a lot of those older, the guys that we were relying on for the first team, they're out on injury. So all these guys are in there stepping up, and the future's looking bright in Pittsburgh on defense. I,
Yeah, they're getting young quick. I feel like that was a nice little turnover. You got Cam that's getting old. Guys like that. Patrick Peterson's old as hell. In football years, not in life years, but football years. Yeah, you got guys like that, and hey, you're getting some turnover and getting lucky with your draft picks. Jason Ferguson, when I see him, it's like I'm watching TJ's twin. I think so. What do you think, Sean? Do you think he plays a lot like TJ Watt, Nick Herbig?
yeah, yeah, he's in there, causing big plays and causing fumbles and getting the ball and really putting it to the offense on the other side. The guy's a game changer, just like TJ. I agree.
No doubt. Yeah, from the same school, Wisconsin. You got to remember too, yeah, being from the same school, all that shit. I really feel like Nick Herbig has watched TJ now for so long and has been involved with TJ and talked to TJ to where he's learned a lot from him over his college years, watching him now in the NFL. I feel like, it's going to prove to pay big dividends for Nick Herbig. I think it's going to be awesome for his career. All right, guys, put some stuff in the chat, get things rolling here on our Wednesday live show. Let us know what you're thinking, what you want to talk about. We usually got the chat blowing up tonight. It's kind of quiet, but you have that sometimes. So let's move on a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about these Steelers and their playoff chances. I know some people don't like them, don't think that they're going to make it. Some say that they don't deserve it. Some say that they will make it. It's a mixed bag out there. What's your feeling, Sean? Do you think that the Steelers are going to be able to get enough help, regardless of what the Steelers do Saturday? Hopefully win. But do you think they're going to be able to get enough help from one of these teams? The Bills need to lose. The Jaguars need to lose. One of the two need to lose, or some other wonky shit that I have wrote down, but we can talk about. But what do you think, Sean? Do you think they're going to get some help here?
Man, I hope so. And odds are probably not, but I'm really hoping. You never know. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, we don't know who's going to win. That's about all we got. The Pittsburgh just needs to focus on themselves, go in there and win in Baltimore, and everything else just is it's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. But let's just hope, yeah, Buffalo loses or what? Jacksonville, they got to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yeah,
are they?
Jacksonville or Baltimore, and then it's something about like the Colts and the Texans, and there's like a scenario there where they got a tie or not tie or some shit. Loot. It's weird, dude. It's just wonky. But our two main paths are, like I said, the Jags losing or the Bills losing. Those are the two most realistic paths to make the playoffs. Um, so there's also a way for the Steelers to become the sixth seed too, which gives them a little bit better draw inside the playoffs. Because let's say they do make it, say the Bills lose, then Pittsburgh has to travel to Miami for that opener. They play the 2 seed. And then who would they have to face if they win that game? They would have to go back yet again to play Baltimore. You talk about running a gauntlet, dude. I feel like that's the gauntlet right there. What do you think? Do you think that's a pretty tough draw, or do you think this team can handle it with all these injuries on defense, the way they played all season? Do you think that's something they ain't going to be able to overcome?
Man, that is a tall order, and I don't know if they can do that. That'd be really hard to do. But you know what? I wouldn't count them out either. If they can just keep playing the way they've been playing and just be fearless, just go out there and
Mm-hmm.
do your job each and every play until the whistle blows, and you can
That's
possibly
it.
come out with a win. Just got to do 1 week at a time.
Yeah, man. And it always seems like when the cards are really stacked against you, that's when you do the best. So Jason Ferguson also said, hold on one second. He said, I think Buffalo is going to get the L this weekend. That's where I think is going to have the loss. But we all got to remember, too, I've been thinking of this, too. Jacksonville hasn't been playing fantastic. Maybe they catch that loss this weekend. Are they even playing Trevor Lawrence? I don't know. Jason Ferguson said too, Allen is due for his one of his games, 2-3 turnovers. Yeah, that's what he is due for that, Jason, for sure. And he hasn't really been playing that well, guys. through these wins, this win streak that Buffalo's been on, it hasn't been because of Josh Allen's amazing play. That's not the reason I feel like that they've really been winning in my eyes. So Sean, the Steelers make it in there. They go in and they got to play Miami. How do you think Miami, a team like that, do you think the Steelers will be able to do like a track meet game now that Mason Rudolph's under center? Do you think they're going to be able to compete with these high powered offenses that score a ton of points? Or do you think, they'll be so physical and some of these teams don't want to play physical football? They want to play high scoring football. Do you think, though, the Steelers can compete in those track meet type games?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to go out there and what you got to do in those games is run the ball. I mean, when you got to keep that offense off the field in Miami. So it's all about having our running backs go out there and just run up and down the field, eat the clock up on them. And you got to put points on the board too, because they're going to put points up. But yeah, just keep them off the field the much you can, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, Jason Ferguson said he lives outside of Buffalo, and he was at the game on Sunday, and he said that he looked bad. That it looked bad. So hopefully, I'm hoping so. I think though the team, like if you go down and play somebody like Miami, you got to hit them in the mouth, man. And I don't think they want to play physical. And you saw the Baltimore Ravens, who can play both sides of that coin right now. They can play in the track meet game. They can hit you in the mouth on defense. And I think when they hit the Miami Dolphins in the mouth, they kind of back the hell down a little bit. And that's what I look like Buffalo's game plan would be this week. Hey, JD, what's up, guys? Running a little late. What's up, JD? It's been a quiet night here, my friend. Anything you want to talk about, holler at us. It's just been a quiet little a live show day. So yeah, you have those sometimes. But yeah, we're just talking Steelers, talking chances here, talking about what the Steelers got to do if they would get in these playoffs. But like Jason said, Buffalo, Josh Allen, do they have enough to do it? Are they going to flop? And that may be where the Steelers get their help, guys. It may be. It may be exactly where they get their help. What I've been concerned about was this throughout the year, not to like totally shift gears, but what I've been concerned about all year is this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, how shitty it's been, how bad it's been. Mason Cole with his bad snapping, the Dan Moore playing shitty, other guys have played shitty at times too. But this line as a whole, just so bad. I'm worried. Are the Steelers built on the offensive line well enough to be able to compete in the playoffs, Sean? Do you think so? Do you think they've come around well enough now to be able to be in the playoffs
You know
as an
what?
offensive line?
You know, I wouldn't say no. I think that anything's possible. Because I remember when Big Ben won his first Super Bowl with that O line, and everybody hated that O line. They got a lot of they caught a lot of scrutiny, if you will. And I remember Big Ben when he raised that trophy said, "How about that O line now?" It
Oh
takes.
yeah, who's laughing now, O line? That's what
Yeah,
he said. I remember that. Yeah.
so they got to form a brotherhood and a bond and have that trust within each other and just go to war together. And then once you get that bond going and it circulate between the O line, it's kind of hard to stop people. It's like a whole new identity.
Yeah. JD just asked, did you guys hear anything about the Ravens resting players? I have, and that is, I know Lamar Jackson isn't playing. Yeah. Jason said too there. Yeah, Lamar is sitting for sure. I'm not sure about the bulk. They can only sit so many. The roster's only able to make so many moves. You're only, there's so many things so many moving parts to that. But we do know Lamar Jackson is sitting. I would rest guys like Odell Beckham Jr. I'd rest guys they're running back. I'd rest a couple guys on defense. Zay Flowers. I'd rest a lot of those guys if I were Harbaugh. But, it's still going to be a crazy environment, I'm sure. It's week 18, and I'm sure the Ravens would like nothing more than to knock the damn Steelers out. Even if you're playing with practice squad guys, these guys are playing for their jobs next season. You know what I mean? So, shit, it's just one of those things, man. It's still going to be a coin toss. Yeah, Smith, Queen. Yeah, for sure, dude. Is he sitting out, Jason? Queen? Is he sitting out? All those guys? I didn't know if they were all sitting out or not, too. I didn't see that. But as far as the Steelers are concerned, but what back to that offensive line? You got to ride with what you got now. Mason Cole, you can't make no changes now. You can't. It's just impossible. You got to go with it. But when we were talking about them, like I say, I think they can do it now. I think they're starting to gel, and I think a big reason for that is Mason Rudolph. Do you think so too, Sean? Do you think when you added Mason Rudolph in there, you don't have somebody trying to bail out of a clean pocket all the time early? Do you think that's just what this line needed to just make them okay? Do you think that got this line comfortable to where now they can start to gel a little bit?
Yeah, the O line, those guys can
Thanks,
sit
Jason.
there and not worry about him running out the pocket within the first 2 seconds every time because when they run out of the pocket, you got to adjust as a lineman and move. But if they know
Mm,
that he's trusting you to get the job done and he's going to be in that pocket, and you can just focus on your one block or
yeah.
two if you want to double team. But yeah, it's all about trust.
Yeah, we saw too, Sean. You remember the Patriots game in particular, and we were talking back and forth about that game. You watch guys, even Isaac Samalu in that game. Guys not sliding down to help. It looked like they were lost on that line. And you're not seeing that no more. You're seeing them in a more when they're dropping back in that pocket and they're getting stepping back on pass pro, you're seeing them form like, an actual line, like something that's going to protect the quarterback. And we saw though in that Patriots game, in that Cardinals game, you would see some of them linemen like lost, not blocking a damn soul in the illegal formations, all this dumb shit. And that was another thing that's leading me to this. Did you guys notice the last two games? We've still had a couple here, but you've had less illegal formations, illegal motions. You had that one called on Friar but that was bullshit, in my opinion. He got set. I don't even think that was a foul. But do you notice that, Sean? Now that Mason Rudolph is under center, it seems like this is a little bit more comfortable of a feeling for this offense. Have you noticed that too? No penalties really and of that nature.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like they all have a bond and a trust within each other. He brings a certain level of confidence out onto the field. Just when you're staying poised in the pocket and in the heat of the battle and a big game, you look over on the sideline and you see Mason just sitting there, focused and just having a casual conversation with this the offensive coordinator. They feel like, hey, Mason's got this. So I feel good about this. There's nothing to worry about. We got a guy that's leading this right now, and it rubs off on everybody. It really does. I'm not saying that, oh, that we found we're going to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that he exuberates a different level of, and it shows
Mm,
in his
I agree.
posture and the way he's throwing the ball. And everybody else is kind of vibing with that, man. They're rolling with it.
Yeah, Jason just said, I was reading this while you were telling us your point there. The Ravens have 12 guys that showed up on their injury report. That's pretty crazy. That's crazy.
Wow.
Maybe they are banged up in places. I know that they have some injuries. That was my show for tomorrow. I didn't really want to do that too much tonight, so I didn't really research it. But now that you brought it up, Jason, 12 guys on the injury report. That's quite a bit, man. Hey, there might be some trouble brewing for the number one seed Baltimore Ravens after their big blowout win of the Miami Dolphins. That's kind of crazy. There, I gotta say, I'll let you go first. What team are you most worried about in the AFC playoffs? What's the most dangerous team in this AFC playoffs to you that's in there right now or could potentially be in there? What team would you be the most worried about getting in
The Ravens. It's
there? They're
they're
tough.
yeah, I'm that's the big game for the Pittsburgh Steelers is the Ravens. And man, I don't know. Yeah, that's the team I'd be most focused on, the Ravens, bro.
You and JD both said Ravens. Jason Ferguson said Flowers, Hamilton, Patrick Queen, Cal Van Noy, and some pretty significant pieces. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. A lot of them on there showing up on the injury report, maybe questionable. We'll dive into that tomorrow on the show. I'll definitely do some more research tonight and really dig into some of that. JD did say, before I talk about my most dangerous team, he said, hats off to Pickens for his blocking last game. I was critical of him a couple weeks ago. I think we all were, JD. I think we all were really down on that bullshit. But man, he looks alive right now, guys. He looks alive. He looks happy. You don't see him pouting. You see him out there finishing blocks. You see him out there doing his job. And that's all it took was him getting involved, I suppose. All right. So my most dangerous team that I was thinking about that I would hate to see get in the playoffs would be the Texans. And the reason is CJ Stroud. I think he's the real deal, dude. I really do. And I think a young guy like him that's full of energy, yes, he doesn't have a shit ton around him, it's a young team. I think they could be good in the years to come. But man, dude, CJ Stroud could be dangerous. You saw what he did to the Steelers. I just really think that could be like a streaky team that could get hot in the playoffs and do something. That's just my choice. I don't know though. We'll see. Yes, he does. Yeah, JD, he did. What do you think, Sean, about George Pickens? I just wanted to say what I thought my team was. What do you think about that George Pickens picking it up here? No pun intended. Pickens picking it up, doing a damn thing, and really showing himself to be something special here these last two games. We've seen it over and over throughout the year, but he's been really consistent these last two games. Mason Rudolph really utilizing him. What do you think about George Pickens' performances, Sean?
I think it's been good, and that's what I want to see from him because we all remember when he first came into the NFL, and he was literally throwing DBs onto their asses. So we know he's
Yeah.
got the physicality to go out there and do a good job blocking. So for him to take pride in that is a big step towards being a future Hall of Famer because that's what it takes to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL. If you're a wide receiver, you better be a good blocker. And I would like to refer to Hines Ward for an example. That guy was amazing at blocking, and he never stopped until the whistle was blown.
Yeah, too bad he don't got the numbers. They won't let him in the Hall of Fame. I'm so sad about that. They've got now been on there a couple times. I agree. You have to be tough and physical as a wide receiver. You have to be able to put up some points. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to just be a tough, all around gritty guy, man. And that's just what George Pickens is really developing into. Jason Ferguson put the Steelers with Mason playing the way he is, the ground game and controlling the clock with the defense, playing the way they are, he thinks they would be the most hot team. Good take, man. That's a good take. What do you think, Sean? Do you think the Steelers could be the most dangerous team in the AFC playoffs if they got in with the way they're playing right now?
They seem to be the hottest team right now. They seem to be the ones that are out there playing real good and catching ground and gaining momentum, while other teams seem to be stumbling and fumbling and trying to maintain their posture, if you will. Hey, like I said, any given Sunday, and right now the Steelers' morale is getting up there. Those boys are playing like they want to win.
Yeah, the Egyptian Queen says, I believe that the Baltimore Ravens are definitely playing the spoilers. They're a rival team, and they do not want to see us get into the playoffs. Munkin will have a good scheme against us. I think they will definitely have a good scheme for sure. I think they will come out swinging. I don't think they're going to lay over and die. I think they're going to really come out and pack a punch. I just don't know if you have Jason said about all those guys on the injury report. And if they sit a ton of their starters, I'm not sure that they'll have the firepower. If Mason Rudolph and George Pickens are able to do what they've been doing these last couple games, they might be outgunned a little bit. And that would be rare. Oh, excuse me, for the Baltimore Ravens this season to be outgunned. But they could really be outgunned Saturday. That's another big thing, Sean. Do you think it's better to play on the Saturday or would you rather play on the Sunday after you already seen the scores, after you already know what you have to do, or not, or maybe you can't get in? Would you rather play on Saturday or you rather play on Sunday if you're the Steelers and scoreboard watch?
I personally would rather play on Saturday because I hate waiting. I just want to get out there and do it. So if I was in
Yeah,
the game and I was on that team, yeah, let's get it on Saturday. That way we can just get this over with. And then just go
yeah.
back and kick back on Sunday and watch it unfold.
Yeah, but man, how nerve wracking that will be. Have you realized too what the NFL has done, guys? Let's talk about this real quick. What the NFL and this league has done to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last several weeks of this season. They have not played a regular like Sunday game in a very long time. And that is a problem. That is an extra rest day that brings those guys into the building early on Monday after that game. And they're usually flying back from somewhere. You have that game Saturday. By the time you unwind, get the weekend over with, you had the holidays, all that shit. How come the NFL has always putting the Steelers in these positions? Saturday games, Thursday games, but Saturday nonetheless. What do you think is going on there, man? Am I just being crazy, or is just the way things work out, dude? You tell me, Sean. I don't know. I'm just getting kind of annoyed with it.
I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't think too much into it. It's just them scrambling around to get the best games out at the right times. Yeah, it's all about the money, bro.
Selling tickets,
Yeah,
yeah, making
and
money.
yeah, so it's all about our marketing and shit. But as a franchise, I wouldn't. They're not out to get them. I don't think they just want the money. So you just got to plan
Yeah.
accordingly. Just be ready to
Well,
go.
they know too the Steelers have a monstrous fan base. It's huge. It's spread out throughout the nation because why? People there have been in recent past less opportunity, I would say, in Pittsburgh for jobs and things of that nature at times. So people have branched out and moved out throughout the country, throughout the world. And that's how this has all happened. That's how there's so many fans. There's every town you go to, there's a Steelers bar there, which is so crazy to me. I went to Myrtle Beach. There's a freaking Steeler bar there, dude. I'm like, I'm in freaking Carolinas, dude. I'm like, what the hell? It's crazy. Jason Ferguson says Humphreys is on the list too. I heard that. I heard that he was a little bit banged up, Jason. I forgot all about him. Yeah, I guess he's nursing something. And that would be a big blow if Humphreys was not in that game. Hey, GP wants to smoke his ass one more time, but he was just coming back off of injury that game when Kenny threw that late touchdown pass to him this year. JD said, wonder if it was because of the strength of schedule. I don't know, JD. I think it's all about money, like Sean and I just said. That's what I think it is. I think it's about the NFL being able to sell viewerships, sell TV type deals, sell tickets to games, all that kind of shit, just because of the way the Steelers fan base is and how it all pans out. All right, guys, put some things in the comments. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We're going to start winding things down here again. It's been a little bit of a lazy show. Hasn't been as crazy as it usually is with all the comments. We'll get one better next week. As always, we'll do our post game show this weekend after the game. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. And we are going to get Sean too. I'm not letting you off the hook with this. We're going to get Sean's channel up and running and going, and we're going to make his shit get going here too. Everybody going to go over and watch his stuff. Sean's going to do some big things, so we're going to help him out. But anyway, man, what's he saying? Jason Ferguson, last game, coming for JB, LG game coming for. Oh yeah, it could be a big game. Sorry, Jason, I was reading your comment there. Yeah, big game coming for GP. Let's do that. Let's get into that, Sean. Our final, usually what we kind of end up with doing here. What's your keys to this victory for the Steelers? What's your score prediction? The whole 9 yards. Give us your spiel about what is going to transpire in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium, Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens.
This is going to be a game about who makes the least mistakes. They got to go out there and just play as a unit and don't be getting a bunch of penalties. It's going to be a heated battle, so people are going to be yapping at each other, and there's going to be a lot of high emotions. So you got to keep your emotions out of it. Stay as professional as you can. I think that's going to go a long way in this game. Don't get caught up with the emotions. Run the football strong. You got the running backs for it. Mason, just get the ball. Like I said, make the good reads. If he's out there and he's got to throw the ball, make the good read. Go through your reads. Stay poised like he has been. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a close game, like it always is, AFC North battle. I honestly, I do feel like the Steelers are going to win this game, and that's because of the way they've been playing. They're on a roll right now. And I'm going to see them scoring about maybe, 21, and the Ravens, let's just say 18.
Oh, there you go. 21-18 for Sean. Anybody else got any score prediction? Put it in there. And All right, I agree with you, Sean. I think that that's really going to be the main concern here. Mistake-free football. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to win this game. What's up, Dave? We're just wrapping it up. Put your Steelers score in there. JD says 27-24 Steelers by 3. Good prediction, JD. I'm going to
Yeah.
give my stuff here, and I think that also, like Sean said, no mistakes. Be solid, fundamentally sound for yet another week. What's up, Jonathan? Yeah, and be fundamentally sound, and you have to control that run game, control the line of scrimmage, use the run game to your advantage again, and lean on it. And if you're Mason Rudolph, remain poised in the pocket yet again. Have that poise. Don't let that go away. That's going to make him so much better going down the road. That's going to let him continue to grow, continue to let him see the field a lot better, continue to just let things flow to him, man. And he's going to have success with that. So if you're Mason Rudolph, be poised. Don't get crazy. I know it's a big game. I know it means a lot for the team, but just stay humble, poised, and straight laser focus, man. That's going to be the biggest thing. And if you're the wide receivers, just stay in the game. Keep your head in the game. Don't get yourself outside of the bullshit, the jarring back and forth with the Ravens, being a tough AFC North battle. And don't let this game come down to that end. Don't let it come down to a field goal. Don't let it happen. You don't want it to anyway if you're the Steelers. Try not to, because those are coin flip games. So my prediction, guys, you're going to hate me again, but I'm not going to. I'm going to continue my trend. 2017, and that's going to be my prediction. But I'm going to pick Baltimore to win this football game, and I don't want to. In my heart, I don't want to. But I think that Baltimore is going to win 20-17 and try to eliminate the Pittsburgh Steelers from the playoffs. So that's my prediction. But guys, I haven't picked them for 2 weeks, if you remember. So this will be my third week in a row not picking them. And fingers crossed. Reverse psychology. All right, let's get to some more of these scores. JD,
Twenty-one
yep, he gave
seventeen.
us.
By the way. My I meant to say 21-17. It's going to be a
Yeah,
4-point game.
I said that. You said that. Yeah, I counted it up afterwards, and I thought my math was wrong. No, I said 20. Yeah. So Sean's saying 4-point game, guys, 21-17. I'm saying 20-17 Baltimore. Sean's given a prediction of 21-17 Steelers. But let's get a couple more here. David Elliott. He was right, spot on last week. David, I don't know how you were. He says 28-17 Pittsburgh. Okay, Big Dave. Jonathan Bader, sitting Lamar kind of feels like a trap game, don't you think? I think so. That's why I'm going to go with the Ravens winning it, because we saw it happen before. And I'm not liking the feeling, but we'll see how it goes. Hope they don't play flat from JD. Yeah, me too, guys. I hope they come out swinging. Jason Ferguson, 21-17 Steelers. He agrees with you, Sean. So we got a
Yeah.
couple 21-17s. Nobody's picking another 30-point game from the Steelers, and I think that's wise, guys. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Anything else, Sean, that you have? Any closing thoughts for today on our Wednesday show?
No real closing thoughts other than I hope everything's good out there with everybody. And it's always fun coming on here and talking football with you, Jason. I appreciate it. And
Thanks,
yeah,
buddy.
hopefully we just get a dub this weekend.
I agree, man. We need it, and we need it badly. Sorry, guys, if you came in late. We're running almost to that hour point, so we're going to wrap it down. We'll be back post game. Steelers, Ravens, win or lose. We'll get it going there and get you guys' thoughts. Hopefully, it's another big win, and we'll see what happens from there. And we'll be back with our live show next Wednesday, win or lose, no matter what. Even if we're in the playoffs or not, we're going to keep this thing going. But again, guys, thanks for stopping through. We're going to wrap this up for tonight. And we've got a lot of people picking the Steelers, but will it be another 30-point game? We don't know. We'll see how it goes. So until next time, I'm Jason.
I'm Sean.
That's Sean. All right, guys. We're out of here. Until next time. Peace.
Aloha,
See you
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, Sean.
Later, bro.